Democrat 2020 hopefuls are litigating their positions on progressive proposals with the goal of appealing to the base of the party. One America's Alex Salvi takes a look.
Senator Kamala Harris is attempting to paint herself as the face of a new progressive movement. But critics say her record tells a different story.
Number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign litigated on who supports civil rights and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that. I was a public defender. I didn't become a prosecutor.
Dating back to 2008, then San Francisco District Attorney Harris supported a policy proposed by then Mayor Gavin Newsom, requiring police to notify ICE about undocumented youth arrests.
My career has been based on an understanding, one, that as a prosecutor, my duty was to seek and make sure that the most vulnerable and voiceless among us are protected.
As a result, the city detained or deported more than 100 immigrant youth, handing them over to ICE before they had their day in court. And that same year, Harris supported an anti-truancy program that threatened prosecution against parents if their children missed school.
And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco.
While the policy resulted in a 1.5% drop in truancy rates, critics say it disproportionately affected minority populations.
Through that initiative, we found cases like the case of the woman who was by herself, raising her 3 children, holding down 2 jobs, and homeless.
Progressives also criticize Harris for her failure to take action against the bank OneWest, formerly ran by Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. A leaked memo accused the bank of breaking foreclosure laws during his tenure, but Harris, without any explanation, refused to prosecute the case. In regard to drug crimes, Harris declined to advocate for the legalization of marijuana and defended the 3-strike rule on 3 separate occasions, which incarcerated black people at a rate 12 times greater than white people. Her critics say today she's singing a very different tune.
But I am absolutely in favor of legalizing marijuana. We've got to do it. We have incarcerated so many, in particular young men and young men of color.
When it came to taking on the Catholic Church, survivors of clergy sexual abuse say Harris turned a blind eye by refusing to take action against those accused.
Her participation in going after clergy or predators of the Catholic Church or bishops who had enabled these people was less than 0.
In regard to trans rights, in 2015, as California Attorney General, Harris halted a district court ruling in favor of gender reassignment surgery for inmates, coming in contrast to some of the positions she claims to support this election cycle.
Individual one is trying to do around excluding our transgender brothers and sisters to serve in our military.
Throughout her career, she allowed $730 million to be spent on for-profit prisons, voted twice to block federal funding for abortions, opposed the legalization of sex work, and accepted campaign donations from the Trumps. But it's not just the actions of Harris that progressives take issue with. It's also her outspoken opposition to some of the ideas they champion.
And we run around with these signs, build more schools, less jails. Build more schools, less jails. I agree with that conceptually, but you have not addressed the reason I have 3 padlocks on my front door.
While her history of a prosecutor may fare well in a general election, she must first make it through a crowded Democrat primary with a base that's constantly shifting to the left. Alex Salvi, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.